Hi, I'm Anothony Dickey, and this is how I made it. My aunt told me she'd put me through beauty school because I had an aunt who did hair and a cousin who did hair. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that. You know, to have my aunt tell me she'd put me through beauty school was like, oh, okay, that's the direction I'm supposed to go in. It was just natural for me to, commit myself to something that was offered to me. And creatively, that's where I figured that I'd let out what creativity I had to me. So doing hair was like, definitely there was a lot of anticipation about what I could do with the rest of my life with doing hair. I moved to New York in '89, and I moved here determined to work for Orbe at the Orbe salon. I came here, got the job, and there was a lot of complaining about me, and I think a lot of it was more competitiveness. So all of this complaining and competitiveness that I was actually experiencing was like, I had no idea that it was actually going on until, it actually worked and I got fired. So I ended up staying and I went to work at Louis Licari, and in '91, I worked there for a few years and realized that I wasn't going to get on the floor, and a good friend of mine, I would go in the bathroom and get on my knees and pray. And a friend of mine told me he needed an assistant at this salon that he was, but he would actually hire me as a hairstylist to assist him on photo shoots. And so that's where I went, pursued my freelance career. So I did freelance in beauty and fashion for probably the first 12 years of my tenure here in New York. I always kind of straddled the fence of working in the two industries, and was fearless when it came to experimenting or thinking outside the box. And it has to make sense to me, and if it doesn't, then I continue to question, well, why can't we do it this way? So for me, that's what started to happen, how I started to think differently about what was available to not only the consumer, but myself, and question why she had to wear a relaxer, or why we couldn't straighten it safely, or why we had to wear it straight, or, none of those things really made sense. And so I said to myself, I'm like, I want to write a book. And I just felt like I had information that hadn't been addressed. So the shift happened in my clientele. I had a 98% white clientele at the time, and after the book came out, all of a sudden every hair texture started to come to see me at the time. And so I was out, buying a hodgepodge of products and things, mixing gels and conditioner. That's when it dawned on me, I could do a product line. I'd mentioned it a couple times because it hit me, and I was like, I could really do this. I could do a product for every single hair texture. I would describe my craft and what we do at Hair Rules is pretty unique to what currently exists within the industry. There's very few hairdressers out there that I know of that work with the finest, straightest, pin straight, feathery hair to the kinkiest, coarsest, softest, coily hair. And we do it it's more of a customized approach. That's more texture specific, not ethnic specific. There's art into listening. Listening to your customer and where she's been, and giving her, offering her a different experience than what she's had in the past. There's this new culture with women going natural. The consumer has gone and formed a community to really lift one another up and to, expose the truth. So those things have also inspired me, Dickey and Hair Rules as a brand, to have awareness about the type of social change that you can make within society about how people are viewed. And this whole hair thing, it's little to do with hair for me, and more to do about the greater good of equality, so that people stop seeing themselves different from someone else, and it's more expanding how we see one another.